Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Friday, November the 7th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set to open slightly lower with ASX futures off by just 2 points. Risk-off sentiment returned to global markets overnight. Tech and consumer discretionary stocks led the losses on Wall Street, with all three major US indices sliding on concerns of stretched valuations, particularly in AI-related momentum shares. The tech-heavy Nasdaq down almost 2%. Among the mega-cap tech stocks, Nvidia extended its 5-day losing streak to nearly 8%. Tesla also falling ahead of results from the shareholder vote on Elon Musk's $1 trillion pay package. Shares of chipmaker Qualcomm dropped after warning that its chips may not be as dominant as before in future Samsung gadgets. And Australian-based Iron tumbled, having surged earlier this week after signing a multi-billion-dollar deal with Microsoft. Marvell Technology rose on reports that SoftBank explored a potential takeover of the company. Warner Brothers Discovery posted a larger than expected quarterly loss on lacklustre growth in its streaming unit, while declines in its cable TV business overshadowed a strong showing from its giant studio. DoorDash shares plummeted after the delivery firm reported third quarter profit below expectations on rising expenses. Novavax deferred its target to become profitable by a year to 2028 as changes in US vaccination policy have dampened its COVID-19 vaccine sales. And cosmetics maker Elf Beauty forecast annual sales and profit below expectations, sending its shares tumbling. Snap shares surged after the social media firm beat third quarter revenue estimates and announced a partnership with Perplexity AI. And Tapestry raised its annual target forecast but forecast holiday quarter earnings below expectations. Well, US-based employers cut more than 150,000 jobs in October, a rise of 180%, the largest monthly reduction in more than 20 years, according to the global outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas. The increase was led by tech companies, with more than 33,000 job cuts announced. Amazon last week said it would cut up to 14,000 jobs from its global corporate workforce. The US government shutdown has extended into a 37th day, a record, with government data disruptions adding to market uncertainties, with tonight's closely watched non-farm payroll report expected to be postponed. Well, FOMC member Austin Goolsbee is saying a lack of data information there during the shutdown makes him uneasier about continuing interest rate cuts, saying if there are problems developing on the inflation side, it's going to be a fair amount of time before we see that. That makes me even more uneasy. When it's foggy, let's just be a little careful and slow down. Well, elsewhere, the Bank of England has kept its policy rate unchanged at 4%, as widely expected, and Norway's central bank also leaving its policy rate unchanged at 4%. US Treasury yields have dropped on concerns of a weakening US labour market, as well as questions over the legality of President Trump's tariffs. The US 2-year Treasury yield fell to 3.54%, the 10-year down to 4.08%. US dollar is down around 0.5% on the day. The Aussie, it has fallen back below 65 cents to be at 64.8. Oil prices have fallen further as investors considered a potential supply glut, as well as weakened demand in the US. Brent crude futures down to $63 a barrel. Copper was off around 0.5%. Iron ore rose 0.4% to $103 a tonne. And gold has edged higher, buoyed by a weaker US dollar and a resurgence of safe haven demand on concerns of a prolonged US government shutdown. Spot gold around $3,980 an ounce. And risk-off sentiment has seen Bitcoin fall back below $101,000. Well, there's no significant data out locally today. On the corporate calendar, Macquarie is set to release its full-year results, while quarterly results are expected from News Corp, REA Group and Block. And Amcor, Nine Entertainment and Qantas are due to hold their AGMs. That is your day ahead. We'll see you again on Monday.